Merry Christmas. Can you believe Christmas is only around the corner? I can't believe it either. So here's our Merry Christmas. Good afternoon. Our last webinar for the year. I can't believe that we have made a part. There's just been so much that has happened this year for me personally, but also for the business as well. So it's just been incredibly. I'm really looking forward to next year, some really exciting things that are going to happen next year, and we're really looking forward to, I'm really looking forward to, I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to holiday. If you're anything like me, you're mostly going, I just think I can get to the end of the year. I'm just so worn out. I just want to get out there and go and have some rest and get together with family and things like that. I'm so excited because after Christmas I am going to, it's actually a previous client of ours, friend of mine now, who's getting married, and she's getting married in India. So I'm off to India just after Christmas, so I'm going away for just over 2.5 weeks. Very excited, so because I'm going to be travelling around with some friends and getting to be seeing some exciting things. So I'm really, really looking forward to getting over to India and experience it. It's going to be my very first time. Very, very excited. I'm going to be experiencing real India and getting in there and experiencing the people and the culture and the architecture and just the amazingness of the country. So really, really, really looking forward to it. Thank you very much for attending today. I don't believe it's like we have like 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks until we shut down for Christmas. So it just feels like it's just come up on us really, really quickly. We only got our decos up today, so getting our Christmas decorations. So yeah, so that's we're just getting those up now. I'm feeling like we're actually getting things started. So anyway, all right. So today's webinar for the end of the year is standards 7.1 to 7.5 and 8.1 to 8.2. Really, really easy one for the end of the year. Don't want too much pressure on you. And I know there's so many other things that you're getting organised for the rest of the year. So we're just doing some nice simple ones. This continuous improvement cycle that we have, it's been written specifically to chime in with the things that you need to do over the year. And also knowing I have a good understanding of what your schedule is like, and December is normally, you're either frantically trying to get everything finished at the end of the year, or you're just winding down, and some people are taking off for holidays and things like that. So nice, simple webinar for today. Okay, so, I haven't got my normal slide. Okay, so as per usual, if you have any questions, please place them into the chat box. They can be about what I'm talking about, or any questions you would like me to address on anything following when we go through the webinar. If you have any questions, no question is a stupid question. They're all relevant. Highly likely, if you're thinking of a question, someone else is also thinking of it, but they're too afraid to put their hand up. So, yeah, if you have any questions, please post it. All right, so now what had happened was I had changed the continuous improvement cycle in the policies and procedures manual, but I hadn't actually updated the webinar. So I realised that a couple of standards I actually did last month, but I'm going to do them again because so that we're in the cycle now of the continuous improvement cycle. So standard 7.1 and 7.2 is our first two. So 7.1 and 7.2 is pretty much around fit and proper person requirements, and that the CEO is responsible for ensuring that the RTO is financially viable at all times. So it's all around your financial viability of the RTO. Nothing that's really audited. It's only really if you get a complaint. And it's also the fit and proper person, so if you have any significant changes to senior management within your team who could have a significant impact on or make decision making within the RTO, they are responsible for these standards, and it's only if you're not compliant with those that you'll be not compliant with the standards, which is very rare. So you just make sure that you're notifying ASCA of any significant changes within your RTO. Okay. Standard 7.3 is all around fee protection. So fee protection policy is how you are ensuring that the RTO is protecting the students' fees that are paid in advance. We don't want the students' fees to be paid, and what's happened in the past with ASQA is that with RTOs, they've gone into liquidation or something like that, and the fees have been paid in advance, and the students haven't got any fees, no visa requirements, no, like there's all sorts of things that they, if you're a high cost provider. So this is why this fee protection measure is in here. So what they want to do is make sure that it's clear and transparent on all of your marketing material what are all the fees up front, and they also want to make it ensure that you when you've engaged someone prior to course commencement, that it's clear what are your enrollment fees, administration fees, any tuition fees, fees for textbooks if you're charging for that, fees for excursions, or it might be reassessment. If you're going to be charging for reassessment, you need to have a fee for that as well. So it's ensuring that those fees are all clear and transparent on your marketing material prior to course commencement. There should not be any surprises with fees down the track once they've commenced the course. So there's a couple of ways you can protect the fees. So there's a threshold prepaid fee, which we're going to go through that, an unconditional financial guarantee, and there's also a tuition assurance scheme. So we're going to break those ones down. So the threshold prepaid fee is the one that we recommend, and it's what we have in our policies and procedures. We have the other ones in there, but this is our preferred one. So the preferred one is that you do not charge any more than $1,500 increments at any given time. So you take $1,500 prior to course commencement, and that your progress payments throughout the duration of the course will not be more than $1,500. Now, if your fees are below $1,500, you can take the full fees up front, but if they're over $1,500, you should be dividing them up, and it should be divided up over the duration of the course. So you should have some sort of payment plan in place, and that should be clear in your marketing material prior to course commencement with the students that you have a marketing plan and how those progress payment plan and how those progress payments will be required. So an unconditional financial guarantee in the tuition assurance scheme is basically with the financial guarantee is that you get a bank guarantee from the bank. Now you will be charged a fee from the bank to do this, and you'll need to apply to the bank for it. So it just depends on your organisation if you want to put that in. That means you can take the fees up front and that you have the guarantee. So you can take the full fees up front, but you have a guarantee by the bank that they will cover any fees if anything happens to your organisation. And the bank will generally charge, sometimes it's monthly, it might be a yearly fee, it might be an ongoing fee that they have there whilst you've got the bank guarantee there. And it will depend on your bank. You'll have to go to your bank and find out which one. Once again, I wouldn't recommend it. It is good for cash flow, but you can do things like a line of credit or an overdraft or something like that, where you're not actually using the student's money and you actually got no money that you can use in the background there. Got a question. Just wanted to ask about scholarships and that our students get from their employer. Good question, good question, good question. Right. So this is money from the employer. When it's money from the employer, you can take the full fees up front. And that's what the threshold, with the threshold fee or with this one, is that you're not taking it from the students up front. But if it's an employer, a bit different, I don't know. I think it's because they're a bigger organisation, but you can invoice them and then get paid in full for the invoice. So the way that they do that, you didn't know that? Cool. Or something as part of their redundancy. Yeah. So you can take the fees in advance when it's an employer. It's when it's an individual student that you have to have this fee protection measure. So great question, Diana. Glad that you brought that one up. Okay. So tuition assurance scheme is one where you can, it's like an insurance scheme that you can pay for, normally only required for CRICOS. You would use it for CRICOS. The only one I know of at the moment is through APEC, the Australian Council of Private Education and Training, where you can pay for a tuition assurance scheme, and it's like paying for insurance. I think it's actually cheaper than a bank guarantee, so once again you can have a look at that. But I recommend that you don't take the fee more than $1,500, so go with a fee threshold. That's the best method. But yeah, as Diana's pointed out, If they're an employer, you don't have to worry about that. So you can, take the full fees up front. And you can invoice them. So you can invoice them. Some people with employers give them 30-day terms and things like that. Big thing that I do, what I did when I had my own RTO, is I wouldn't issue certificates even if it was with an employer until the payment had been made, because I got stuck quite a few times where I'd already, because once you've issued the certificate, save my body your money, you're not going to see it, because that's pretty much what's going to happen. It's very rare that once you've issued the certificate, they're actually going to pay you the money. So unless you've got a really good working relationship with an employer, things like that. I was working with job network providers, and I knew that they would pay us, so I'd issue the certificates. I'd have no problems with that, and because they used to send us lots of students as well. So with job network providers, I was a bit more relaxed with them because they were ongoing that we use them. Okay, standard 7.4. Any questions around fees? If you have any, just post any questions you might have around fees. So the other one with the fees is you've got to make it clear. There is another standard that covers that. You've got to make it clear what your refund policy is, if you're doing reassessment, if you're going to do certificate reissue, all of that sort of stuff. So if you are doing, for example, forklift driving courses, and in the forklift driving course, if they are deemed not yet competent, it actually can be quite costly to do a reassessment, because more often than not they have to come back. You are allowed to charge a fee. You can charge whatever fees you like, just as long as it's clear and transparent on your marketing material what that fee would be. So you can charge the full fees, again, if you wanted to. It's up to you what you want to charge, but you make it clear and transparent on all your marketing material prior to course commencement so that they know. Okay, so that's those fees. Public liability insurance, so do 7.3, yes, I did that. So public liability insurance, you have to, with insurance, you have to have public liability insurance in place, and it will depend on the size and scope of your organisation. We strongly recommend that you have at least 10 million for public liability. A lot of companies now and insurance companies are actually recommending that you have 20 million in public liability insurance. So you have to look at your scope of operations and what training you're delivering. If you're delivering training with high risk equipment where the student could actually hurt themselves with the equipment, I'd be going more the $20 million mark. And really you're looking at managing your own risk with the type of insurance that you've got in place. So you need to actually look at, are we delivering high risk qualifications? And you've got to remember public liability is more damage to self. There could be some emotional damage and things like that as well, but it's not if you delivered the training incorrectly and then the student dies, or that they hurt someone in the workplace and that they come back to the RTO. That's professional indemnity. Professional indemnity is not a requirement to have in place. ASPA don't actually require you to have professional indemnity. I highly recommend it. You need to cover your butt. You need to cover the fact that you have trainers and assessors that might be out on the field who may be delivering the wrong information to your students. I have heard of cases where a student has left an RTO, got their certificate, gone and worked in an organisation, there's been a serious incident that has occurred, the insurance company wouldn't pay out the insurance because the student actually wasn't trained properly, and in the end they actually had to go to the RTO and claim it on their insurance, if you don't have professional indemnity insurance, you're not covered, and so you're going to have to, and the insurance company will, the other insurance company will try and get the money out of you. So yes, I highly recommend professional indemnity. So it's just in case your trainer and assessor hasn't delivered the training and assessed properly, and you've issued a certificate and the student wasn't actually competent in what they're doing. So you need to cover your butt. I have professional indemnity insurance personally. I can't guarantee that everything that I say and do with regards to compliance is guaranteed. I can't guarantee it. I only know what I know from what I've experienced, which is really good because because we've had so much experience with so many orders, we tend to have a bit more knowledge about what happens in RTOs, but I am the expert in the industry, but I can't guarantee that everything that we state and that I state is going to be 100%. ASPA can change their mind, there's all sorts of things that happen. So professional indemnity, always recommend it for training organisations that you have it in place. You should also have your work cover insurance in place if you've got employees. You've got to meet the requirements of other legislation. So that other legislation is work cover insurance, so you should have that in place as well. Now, ASPR, when they come in audit, and the audit tool basically just has public liability. That's it. But you can have some auditors who go, well, the standard actually says that you have to have insurance sufficient enough to meet the requirements in accordance with the size and scope of your operations, and then they can get stuck into detail where they go, well, you've got these high-risk roles, so you should have this, and you should have professional indemnity, and you should have work cover and things like that. So you need to be careful with that and make sure you've got all your insurance in place. Okay, standard 7.5 is all around your data provisioning requirements. Now, I've actually added these to the slides for next year. I've actually been working on the slides for next year, so I'm already ready for January because I thought I'm actually only back in for one day. That day that I get back from my holidays is when we have our first webinar when I get back. So I've already prepared the slide PowerPoint for that one. So event misreporting is due in February. We're going to send you an email to remind you to submit your event misreporting. Now, if you're doing government funding, you're highly likely you're doing your event misreporting regularly so that you can claim your money. But if you're not submitting your event misreporting regularly through your state funding body, you'll need to make sure that you submit it to NCVR, and you'll see this under DPR 4.1 in the Policies and Procedures Manual. There's a whole process in there on what you need to do to submit your reporting. But we're going to send you a reminder in, will be end of January, it will be next month, most probably, that we're going to remind you because it's due at the end of February. In February is that due. DPR 6 is quality indicator reporting, which isn't due to the end of June. So you won't need to get that, have to have that in place until then. But quality, you should be sending out your quality indicator reports, and I've got what that form looks like. So this is quality indicator, that survey there. You should be sending that out to every single student. Now, what ASPR requires is that you send the quality indicator forms out to every student. You may not get all of them back, but you should send them out to every student, and that every student receives this quality indicator survey. And then you do a summary report, which in that summary report you actually state how many did we distribute and how many were returned. And you've got to do a ratio and then do a short feedback on what sort of information from the surveys that were completed. Was there anything you improved in your operations due to that feedback? And what was the impact of that feedback on your organisation? So that's the quality indicator reporting. The other one is event miss data. On your enrolment form is where we collect all that event miss data. So you'll see on your enrolment form we have these little numbers all over the place, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those numbers directly correlate with the event miss data that you need to collect in accordance with DPR 6. You need to collect this data. So wherever you see that number, that's a must do. You must collect that data. If you don't collect that data, you're not going to be able to submit your event miss reporting because you're going to have information missing. So you need to make sure that your students are completing this form in full, and in particular the ones with the numbers next to it. You must have that to do your event miss data reporting. So yeah, so that's all your event miss data on that page there. Any questions about 7.5, event miss reporting, quality indicator? No. I'm going to go into those in more detail. So one will be in February for event miss reporting. The other one will be in June for your quality indicator reporting. I'm going to be going into that further details in those webinars. Okay, standard 8.1 and 8.2. 8.1 and 8.2 is basically that the RTO will comply with the legislation. That's basically what they're asking, and if you are non-compliant, you're going to be non-compliant with these standards, and that's basically what this standard is all about, and that you'll update ASPR with any changes that you may have within your organisation. So the firstly with 8.1 is that you will participate in audits, and that you will provide the information that they require. You'll answer their emails. We've actually had a couple of issues this year that's occurred where clients have not received their emails from ASPA, or they've got an email from ASPA and not acted on it. You need to act on it, because by not acting on one, you could lose your registration just for the fact that you haven't answered an email. But two, you're actually breaking this standard where you're not actually responding to ASPA when they're getting in contact with you. So you should make sure that you've got the ASPA email address on your safe senders list within your emails, so that you make sure that you get those emails. And if you've had a change of email address, make sure it should be all your details, but if you've had any changes within your organisation, you need to notify ASPA. So you need to actually go to ASPA and fill out a material change of event and submit that to ASPA with any changes that you may have had with your organisation. I'm just bringing up ASPANet so we can have a look at ASPANet, because you can actually submit those material change of events on ASPANet now. Just trying to think which one we could do. I'll do that one. Okay, so it should be that you can. I think event misreporting is actually going to eventually be in here as well, and you can also your CEO stat deck's going to be, so the CEO stat deck is due in March. You will be submitting that through ASPANet as well. We're actually going to be doing a video on ASPANet, but I know ASPA have also done some as well on their YouTube channel on how to use ASPANet. So you might want to jump on there and have a look. But we're going to do some videos on how to access ASPANet and what you need to do on there. Now you can what can you do on there? So yes, notification of material change of events. So I'm just going to bring up ASPANet. Problem is we've got some other clients on here and I can't really show you that, so that's why I'm not showing my screen yet, but I can now. So I'm going to share my desktop. Here we go. So I've just clicked in within ASPANet. It looks like there's an ASPANet form here. You can actually go through and do a material change of event. So it might be that you're just changing some contact details, or permanent RTO delivery sites. So you might have a delivery site that's changed and you need to go in there and actually update your delivery site. So, okay, so they've still got, I thought they were going to do these forms online. So obviously they're not doing that. So they've still got a form. So you can go to, there should be material change of event. It's at the top there. Registration. Notification of material change of event. So you can click on that and go on to ASPANet and do that there. You should have already a registration for ASPANet where you can go on there and you can submit your applications on there. So you can do, update your organisation details. I'm just trying to think what we're going to have in here. I haven't got a practice RTO, unfortunately, so we can't actually just show you anything there. But you can report another RTO. I love this feature. This is great. You can now report another RTO. So if you have identified that there's an RTO about your other stuff, you can actually go on to ASPANet and report, make a complaint about them. Particularly if they're not delivering to volume of learning requirements. That's where, we've got to keep it an even, fair playing field here and make sure that we're keeping them in line as well. So that's one you can do. But the material change event looks like their portal's not working very well here. So the material change of event they're saying is on ASPANet, but it's not actually taking me there. So this is all still new to us. So we're still trying to see what we need, how we need to do this, and it should be up through here, notification of material change event. And then it takes me to another page and not to actually a form. So that's awesome. Let's see what we've got here. General registration, contact details. So yeah, so they haven't really got the forms in there working. Okay, so if you stick to the policies and procedures, we actually have a form in there that you can complete as well. But if you've had any changes within your RTO, there's been a change of CEO, or there's been a change of location or things like that, you need to complete a material change of event. If you had a change of CEO, change of director, or things like that, you need to notify them of that. Okay. So you need to notify them within 90 calendar days of any of those changes. So CEO or director, change of location, or you may have added a partner or a director within your organisation. Okay, so that's those. All right, so the other thing I want to show you is, yes, because we've got ASCO-Net to work so well. We've got some, we just thought we'd go through some other things. So we've gone through the standards for the month. But we just thought we'll let you know about a couple of other things that we've discovered. There's going to be a free LLM tool coming out. So if you have looked at training.gov.au lately, like one of the things that I do is I go to TGA and I ignore this front page. I don't really look at it. It doesn't look very exciting. It's just plain text. I just thought it was the same text. This actually changes. Surprise, surprise. So this is their news. So they don't email you with any news. It's just on the page. And we came across this. The Foundation Skills Assessment Tool is now available. This is a government initiative by DEC where they're going to provide all RTOs access to an interactive online LMN assessment tool for free. So it's actually going to be done in correlation with Australian Council for Educational Research, ASA, but you need to register for it. Everyone doesn't get it automatically. You actually need to register for it. So you need to click on that link there and actually go on. I've registered already. I've gone on there and registered for it. Still haven't received a confirmation. I did that last week and I haven't received a confirmation from it yet. So I'd jump on there if I was you. Now we aren't an RTO. We're a consultant, so I don't know whether that's going to cause a delay or not. But if you're already an RTO, you should be able to log on there right now and actually register. So you go on to here and you can register your organisation. So you can either log in or register a new organisation. And if you're an RTO already, you can put it there. If you're not an RTO yet, you'll need to do other because they actually ask you for your RTO ID and you can't use someone else's either, so you need to use your own. But if you're an RTO already, you can register your RTO and identifier. We're going to update our policies and procedures to include this LNN assessment. So I'm highly recommending that all of our clients register their organisation on here so that you can get these free LNN assessment tool. Why not? And the great thing is it's online. It's an online LNN assessment tool. It's going to solve so many problems. So if you need students to do LNN assessment prior to course commencement, which we all have to do, we can get them to do it online. So it's going to make it so much easier. So you need to register. You need to get on here and register for this LNN assessment tool. We'd love to hear any feedback from you guys if anybody has registered for the LNN for this tool, or when you do. Yeah, give us some feedback. I'd like to know because we haven't got any access yet, and I think it's because we're not an RTO, so we haven't been able to get access. So if you're an RTO, and I know Sarah's on there right now, I'm hoping you're jumping on there right now, Sarah, and you're actually registering for this right now. Because I'd love to see what happens when you register as an RTO and that you get updated with that because this is going to be perfect for your organisation, Sarah, so you need to jump on there and register for that. We'd love to get some feedback on that. Okay, so that's that new LNN assessment tool. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is just some changes, what's happened with the audits lately. So as you may have heard, and I've just shown you there, ASCO-Net or ASCO have released a new version of ASCO-Net. And so what we found up until the middle of the year, everything was really slow. ASCO were taking ages to get our audit reports through. We were getting, it was taking quite a while for decisions to be made, additions to scope, for audits to happen. We were finding it was really quite slow. The first half of the year, we were finding the auditors were very inconsistent with their decisions, and they were being much more nitpicky with the policies and procedures. Second half of the year, so much better. Audits are actually we're getting through 100% compliant on the day, which is very exciting. We're very happy about that. We're also finding it's just been like this plug of hair has just been pulled out of the sink, and now all of a sudden all of these audits are happening, additions of scope are happening, we're getting reports through, things like that. So there must be, because the ASPANet portal, they have their own ASPA, have their own login on that as well, and there's all sorts of things that they can do at that end. So I think that was just clogging up a whole heap of things because they weren't able to do their job because they were switching over. And I know we had a whole heap of problems with ASPANet, so I'm assuming they had a whole heap of problems as well. So we're finding ASPANet, yes, issues, there's been concerns and problems and things like that, but we're also finding that things are starting to move a bit quicker, so we're hoping next year things are going to move through a bit quicker with ASPANet as well. So that's basically the ASPA update. Now, so the next thing is we're going on holiday soon, so we finish on Friday the 23rd of December. Cindy finishes in 2 weeks, so she's got 2 weeks. She finishes on the 16th of December, I think it is. So she'll be here up until the 16th. We've got another week. We'll finish on Friday the 23rd of December, and then we reopen on Monday the 9th of January. I'm not back. I've got an extra week off because I'm in India, so I won't be back till Monday the 16th of January, which is when our next webinar is. You would have received your invite today to the next webinar on the 16th of January. And following this webinar, I'm going to send you the invites for the rest of the year. We're going to keep them as the first Monday of each month at 2 o'clock, just to keep that consistency. So you'll be getting your invite for next year after this webinar. So I'll send you the series for the invite for the rest of the year. So you for next year, 2017. Cool. So we're going to be sending out the webinars for that. So next webinar, Monday the 16th of January. So excited about 2017. I've got a feeling that it's going to be an amazing year for 2017. It's going to be one better than this year. This year's been absolute crap. But anyway, I'm looking forward to 2017 with some excitement and fun. Business had overall, in general, for a lot of small businesses, it's been bad. I've heard it, and it's not just the training industry, it's all sorts of businesses that have suffered this year because we had a change of government, what was happening in America with their government and things like that. So 2017 should be a really good year. We haven't got all those issues. We'll start settling down. So business should be good overall for everybody, I think. If you've had a good year this year, brilliant. So happy for you. But yeah, this year has been tough overall, I think, with a lot of businesses. So it is looking forward to a positive 2017 for next year. So we'll have those webinars there. So thank you very much. I don't know what's happening to my graphic, but anyway, thank you very much for attending today's session. If you have any questions, please post them. I haven't got very many people online, so we're not going to get a lot. Got a lot out of it, got to go, but these webinars are very valuable to us. Oh, awesome, thank you very much, Diana. I really, really appreciate that. I'm glad they are valuable. Yeah, go for it. Have a very Merry Christmas and really have a great break, everybody. You really deserve it. It's been a hard year, big year. Lots of things have happened this year. Go for it. Go enjoy those Christmas parties. I'm going to enjoy a couple of drinks and enjoy the rest of the year. And I'm really ready for a pumped next year. Oh, the other news is we're finally getting the newsletters back out. So I've been doing, Tracy and I have been working hard on our next newsletter, and we've actually got a series of newsletters coming out for next year. So we've got our first one coming out in December. So it's going to be regular newsletters coming back out. We're being lazy and just doing social media posts, but not everybody follows our social media posts. So yeah, we'll be getting the newsletters out. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you for attending today. Have a very, very Merry Christmas. Enjoy time with your family and friends. We really look forward to working with you again in 2017 and have an amazing year next year. So thank you very much, guys. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks. Bye.